what about us taking an adventure east?
Like Queens?
Singapore, Colin's wedding. Don't you want to meet my family?
The reviews for the long-awaited film adaptation of Crazy Rich Asians are in, and the takes on the romantic comedy are mostly of the amorous variety. Directed by Jon M and adapted from Kevin Kwan's international bestseller, Crazy Rich Asians tells the story of NYU economics professor Rachel Chu, played by Constance Wu, who travels to Singapore with her long-term boyfriend Nick to attend a wedding. Once there, she realizes that Nick, played by Henry Golding, is rich. Like, really, really rich. She also has to deal with the fact that his mother Eleanor, played by Yeoh, doesn't think Rachel is good enough for her son. Awkwafina, Gemma Chan, Jeong, Jimmy Yang, and Chris Peng also star. The Hollywood Reporter's own critic David Rooney writes that the film is a thoroughly captivating exploration of the rarefied question of whether true love can conquer head-spinning wealth. Rooney particularly praises the performances of Wu, Awkwafina, and Yeoh, who he says refuses to make Eleanor a one-dimensional dragon lady, but rather a woman fiercely protective of her family and mindful of the kind of wife she thinks Nick will need in order to take his rightful place as the head of their massive pan-Asian real estate empire. According to Slate's Inku Kang, the film is a distinctly American product despite its Singaporean setting. Writes Kang, emotionally layered, culturally specific, and frequently hilarious, Crazy Rich is a transportive delight with food montages to die for. The film offers a splendid showcase of Singapore's justly celebrated street food scene and a wedding processional so exquisite I started crying at its sheer beauty. However, the critic also nitpicks the film for celebrating the capitalist pleasures of some of its characters while also shortchanging the development of some of the Singaporeans. Ultimately though, Kane concedes that Crazy Rich Asians isn't really about crazy rich Asians anyway, so much as one American who gains a greater appreciation of where she comes from. It's a great romance, but it's most powerful as a story of her love with herself. Justin Chang of the LA Times highlights just how historic the film and its cast is for a Hollywood blockbuster, noting that it's been 13 years since the release of Memoirs of a Geisha, the last major studio film featuring an all-Asian ensemble. Writes Chang, those ridiculous statistics have saddled Crazy Rich Asians with equally ridiculous expectations. That future Asian-led projects are riding on this movie's box office success makes it awfully hard not to root for. He continues, but it's even harder not to root against a system predicated on such offensive conditions in the first place. What really needs shattering is the notion that people of color should have to earn the right to see themselves depicted in the first place. In a better world, Crazy Rich Asians wouldn't have to prove or represent anything but itself, but here we are. Kate Erbland of IndieWire admires the film's culturally specific touches as it moves to Singapore, writing, "The film wears its culture and heritage with ease. For instance, characters switch between English, Chinese, and Malay slang, the kind of stuff Hollywood so rarely brings to big-budget studio features." Not all of the reviews are as complimentary, however. While Newsday's Rafa Guzman calls the movie a delicious fantasy which avoids the usual Asian stereotypes seen in Hollywood films, he also complains that it is thoroughly retrograde in every other way. Overall, Guzman says the film is nothing if not an escapist pleasure. It's as fizzy as Dom Perignon and as flashy as a pair of Louboutins, even if in the end it has the social conscience of a Fabergé egg. Meanwhile, according to Danny Yu of Time Out, beneath its glitz and glamour, Crazy Rich Asians has something of a familiar setup, the story of two lovers from different walks of life who are willing to challenge tradition for their own happiness. But the tale is infused with a modern sense of money and personal reinvention. Yu praises Chu's directing, enthusing that he masterfully peppers the tale with epic views of Singapore's gardens by the bay, an Avengers-style ensemble cast, expert-level bitchiness, and a euphoric dance party. Wear your favorite jade and pearls, you'll be clutching them. Crazy Rich Asians, which opens on August 15th, currently sports a 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes from 19 reviews so far. To read more reviews of Crazy Rich Asians, head to THR.com. For the Hollywood Reporter News, I'm Lindsay Rodriguez.